what angels do in heaven. There is no way to list all the functions that people have in the heavens or to describe them in detail, though it is possible to say something on the subject in general terms. They are innumerable and vary depending on the roles of the communities as well. In fact, each community plays a unique role, since the communities differ depending on their virtues and therefore on their function. This is because virtues for everyone in the heavens are virtues in act, which are functions. Everyone there does something specifically useful, for the Lord's kingdom is a kingdom of uses. There are many services in the heavens just as there are on earth, since there are ecclesiastical, civic, and domestic affairs there. The existence of the ecclesiastical ones follows from what was presented above about divine worship, the existence of civic ones from what was presented about forms of government in heaven, while the existence of domestic ones follows from the material on angels' homes and houses and on marriages in heaven. We can therefore see that the roles and services in any given heavenly community are multiple. Everything in the heavens is arranged according to the divine design, which is managed everywhere by the oversight of angels, the wiser ones tending to matters of the common good or use, and the less wise to smaller details, and so on. These matters are ranked just as uses are ranked in the divine design. This also means that importance is attributed to each role in keeping with the importance of its use. Angels, however, do not claim any importance for themselves, but ascribe it all to the use. And since the use is the good that it serves and everything good comes from the Lord, they ascribe it all to the Lord. This means that if people think about respect for themselves first, and for their use secondarily, instead of for the use first and for themselves secondarily, they cannot hold any office in heaven because they are looking away from the Lord, putting themselves first and their use second. This enables us to determine what rankings in the heavens are like, namely, that we love, value, and respect the functionaries the way we love, value and respect the functions that are associated with them, and also that these functionaries are loved, valued, and respected to the extent that they do not attribute their use to themselves, but to the Lord. To that extent, they are wise, and to that extent, they fulfill their uses from good motives. Spiritual love, value, and respect are nothing but love, value, and respect for the use in the role, respect for the role because of the use and not for the use because of the role. If we look at people from a spiritually true perspective, this is the only way to see them. Then we see one person as much like another, whether their rank is great or small. The only difference we see is a difference in wisdom, and wisdom is loving use, which means loving the welfare of our fellow citizens, our community, our country, and the church. All the communities in the heavens are differentiated according to their forms of service because they are differentiated according to their virtues, as has been noted above. Their virtues are virtues in action or acts of thoughtfulness, which are services. There are some communities whose tasks are to take care of babies. There are other communities whose tasks are to teach and lead children while they are growing up. There are other communities that look after young boys and girls who are well disposed because of the way they were raised in this world and have come straight to heaven, where they are taught and raised in much the same way. There are some that teach simple people from the Christian world and lead them on the way to heaven. And there are some that do the same for various non-Christian peoples. There are some that protect new spirits, just arrived from the world, from the attacks of evil spirits. And there are some who attend to people in the lower earth. Then there are some who attend to people in the hells and control them so that they do not torture each other beyond set limits. Broadly speaking, angels of all communities are assigned to us to protect us, to lead us away from evil feelings and the evil thoughts that these cause, and to instill good feelings to the extent that we are freely open to them. These serve to control our deeds or works by removing our evil intentions to the extent that this can be done. When angels are with us, they seem to dwell in our affections, near us to the extent that we are engaged in something good, because of truth, and distant to the extent that our life is removed from such engagement. However, all these tasks are things the Lord does by means of angels, since angels do them not on their own, but from the Lord. This is why, in the deeper meaning of the word, angels does not mean angels, but something of the Lord. And this is why angels are called gods in the word. These are general categories of angels' activities, but each individual has her or his own specific contribution to make. This is because every general service is made up of countless elements that are called mediate or subservient or supporting services. All of these are arranged and ranked according to the divine design, and taken together they make up and complete an overarching function that is the common good. The people in heaven who are involved in church affairs are the ones who loved the word in the world and looked for truths in it with lively interest, not for the sake of eminence or profit, but for the service of their own life and the lives of others. In proportion to their love and eagerness for service, they are enlightened there and are in the light of wisdom, attaining it because of the word in the heavens, which is not natural the way it is in the world, but spiritual. They have the gift of preaching, and in keeping with the divine design, the ones who are more highly placed, there are the ones who surpass others in the wisdom they derive from their enlightenment. The people who are involved in civic affairs are the ones who loved their country and its welfare more than their own, who behaved honestly and fairly out of a love for what is honest and fair. To the extent that they sought out laws of justice because of the urging of this love, and thereby became discerning, they enjoy the ability to fill governing offices in heaven. They perform these duties in the place or on the level appropriate to their discernment, which in turn is equivalent to their love of service in the common good. Further, there are so many offices and departments in heaven, so many tasks, that there are simply too many to list. There are relatively few in the world. No matter how many people are involved, they are all caught up in a love of their work and tasks out of a love of service. No one out of selfishness or a love of profit. In fact, there is no love of profit for the sake of livelihood, since all the necessities of life are given them for free. They are housed for free, clothed for free, and fed for free. We can see from this that people who have loved themselves and the world more than service have no place in heaven. Everyone in heaven is engaged in his or her work according to its correspondence, and the correspondence is not with the work itself, but with the use of each particular task, and everything has a correspondence. When we are engaged in an activity or a task in heaven that does answer to its use, then we are in a state of life very much like the one we were in this world. This is because what is spiritual and what is natural act as one by means of their correspondence, but with the difference that, after death, we enjoy a deeper delight because we are engaged in a spiritual life. This is a deeper life, and therefore more open to heavenly blessedness.